Logic Puzzles, by Ryan Page, Hallie Bledsoe, Connor Conway, Justin Rogers, Michael Davis, and Will Rector.
What are logic puzzles? Logic puzzles are puzzles solved by using deductive reasoning. Deductive reasoning is a method of drawing conclusions based on a set of given clues. There are different types of logic puzzles, such as Sudoku puzzles, nonograms, and logic grid puzzles, which is what we will be talking about today. Grid puzzles, which are composed of columns and rows, are solved through a process of elimination based on the clues that are given to you. It is a process of trial and error.
At first glance, logic puzzles are a fun, challenging way to pass time, but they are so much more than that. These puzzles can strengthen problem solving and creative abilities in everyday life. Researchers have also discovered that people over the age of 50 who do logic puzzles share the same brain function of those who are 10 years younger than them.
Here are some facts about logic puzzles. So, as previously stated in What Are Logic Puzzles, they require deductive reasoning, since they rely on being able to deduce information. Another fact would be that they enhance critical thinking. The requirement to analyze the information, identify patterns, and more promotes critical thinking. Another fact would be that you can develop analytical skills, since individuals are compelled to examine information, identify relationships, and draw logical conclusions. Another fact would be no prior knowledge is required. Most logic puzzles don't require any specific background knowledge or expertise. They can also vary in complexity, which means that anybody can do a logic puzzle. Since logic puzzles can range from simple to complex, it can provide a challenge for everyone. It also can improve memory, since of working on all of these things together, it can improve short-term memory. They can also improve your mood and relieve stress, since solving puzzles can release dopamine, potentially reducing stress levels. And they can also encourage pattern recognition. Logic puzzles can help individuals develop the ability to recognize patterns and make connections between different pieces of information.
So how would you go about solving a logic puzzle? First, you want to make sure that you fully read and understand all parts of the puzzle. Then you want to read through each clue one by one and mark off the squares in the grid that correspond with the information from the clues. The clues will give you information on direct and indirect connections between the variables in the puzzle. Direct connections will be found from clues that explicitly connect two variables, while indirect connections will typically be found from clues that explain where two variables don't match up. Through following these connections and marking off the corresponding squares in the grid, you will gradually solve the puzzle. A key thing to remember, though, is that you must make sure to check for contradictions in what you're marking on the grid. If you accidentally mark off the wrong square as being true or false, then it can have a snowball effect throughout the rest of your puzzle, leading to further inaccuracies.
This is our first example of logic puzzle question. This is what is considered a grid logic puzzle, and we have three categories of name, age, and toy, and we have three subjects being Max, Kylie, and Emma. Our first clue is that Max is the youngest and does not have a plush dog toy, so we can mark him off for a no in the toy category, and we can mark him for a check in the age category because the lowest age is 3. Our second clue is that Kylie has a dino toy, which means we can check her off for the toy category, which gives us 2 more in that. We can use deductive reasoning that Emma is the one with the plush dog due to the fact that Max, from our clue previously, does not have a plush dog toy and Kylie has the dino toy. So through both types of reasoning, we can conclude that Max has the toy train and therefore it is the youngest, as well as Kylie has her dinosaur and was not dropped off with the dog, meaning she is the 4-year-old. And within the grid, which leaves Emma with the plush dog, with these clues solved and the grid filled in the ways we can use deductive reasoning and inductive reasoning via our clues to fill in the blanks for the rest of the spots to finish the logic puzzle.
This is an example of a fun logic puzzle involving 3 people, Susie, Jake, and Andrea, 3 parks, Central, North, and West, and 3 activities, basketball, golf, and running. Our goal is to figure out which park each person visits and which activity they like based on a few key clues. Using the clues as well as deductive reasoning, we can either select or eliminate options in the grid as we move through the clues. Let's do a live demo example. The first clue is that Susie likes running, so we can put a green check on the corresponding box. We can also put a red X in golf and basketball for Susie since we have eliminated those options for her. The next clue is that Andrea does not go to West Park, so we can put an X on that option. The third clue is that the boy who goes to West Park likes basketball. There is only one boy, Jake, so we can check both West Park and basketball for Jake. We can also check basketball here since we know that West Park and basketball go together. The final clue is the person who goes to North Park likes running. We know that Susie likes running, so we can put a green check here on North Park and here on running. Using deductive reasoning, we can conclude that Andrea must go to Central Park and play golf. Now all we have to do is put red X marks in the rest of the options to complete the logic puzzle. And that's it. We solved the puzzle.